Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your December 2021 reading. So, I've meditated on your energy and what I wanted to talk to you about. Not me, what Spirit wanted to talk to you about. I'm sorry. There it is. First card coming out, two cards, Two of Cups, King of Pentacles. So of course, King of Pentacles, that's you. Two of Cups, we're talking about the relationships in your life. That can be romantic, it can be family, the Two of Cups is every relationships that we have in our lives. And this month, you are releasing something about that. Something that had Three of Swords in it. So that means kind of a connection that used to always bring you sadness, okay? Or it could be a recent thing, it could be an old thing that you've carried with you, okay? But the Three of Swords. So after that, here I have the Seven of Cups, Ace of Wands, Eight of Wands. So instead of walking around here, Seven of Cups with Venus in Scorpio here, that means that your old wounds and disappointments from past relationships, family dynamics, whatever it is at work and so on, and projecting it, you know, always, well, I've been hurt this way and I'm continuing because I believe it to hurt my own heart, and even projecting it on what is possible out there for me. This is finally going to be finished because you're starting here a brand new way of bringing your fire. And here with the Eight of Wands, it won't be as much like, okay, I'm heading this way, I'm projecting and hoping that it's gonna be like this, but I end up maybe being disappointed or whatever, because there's nothing. See, it's all smoke. We're just projecting. There's nothing concrete. But when we're in the Eight of Wands, we're making moves from our higher self that are directed, and they come back, and we're dancing with the universe. We're in a much more active, less foggy hope and fear, and much more active, energetic fire when it comes to the relationships in your life. Under our Two of Cups here with the King of Pentacles, I have the Ten of Wands. So you've been carrying on your shoulders a lot on that aspect. And here you are finally Ten of Swords. So maybe this is at the beginning of the month, you're arriving with this. So you probably realized that last month or something like that, but you're in it this month. Finishing Ten of Swords, Ace of Swords right away. Oh my God, I see the price I've paid for believing this, okay? Now I have a completely new path opening in front of me of how my dynamic with others will be, what I carry on my shoulders, and that will be reflected in the one in front of me, and so on. And here I have the Wheel of Fortune, not having to relive. If ever you've said to yourself, Capricorn, you know, it's like, oh my God, it's always the same thing. Why am I always attracting the same kind of woman, man, whatever, okay? Why is it always the same story with my sister, my brother, my mother, my father? That's where you're understanding it and you're deciding to release it, because you're not hurting yourself anymore with that. Three of Swords, under it I have Death. And there's that Scorpio season we just had. And under it, we have the Hermit. Now you are relying on your inner truth, which is light, not fog anymore. That's the switch that's happening during the month. You are actually going to continue to purify, let die, release all of that weight. And here, following afterwards, much lighter, following your truth, following your light, no more fogginess. You are actually here, Four of Wands, everything will be on the surface. You're seeing things for what they are truly. Nothing is hidden anymore. Nothing is projected or whatnot. Everything is clear and on the surface. So here is the release that is happening. You're releasing your old sadnesses, grievings, and so on, and you're embarking, and actually, you know, it's like a rebirth. Walking that new path, enthusiastic, happy, like a page of wands, and light, and so on. Okay? So, all right, let's clarify this for you, Capricorn. I call upon the divine. I call upon the light. I call upon the Holy Spirit. Help me clarify this reading for Capricorns for the month of December 2021. December. Of course, we're entering Sagittarius month. So everything about understanding the bigger picture and healing, you know, finishing our healing and letting ourselves be out there, our deep beliefs and things like that are going to be addressed this month. Okay, let's see here. Two of Cups, King of Pentacles. We have the Lovers. I think you're seeing, and here the Three of Cups, but you're seeing the dynamic you take when you're in love. When you're in a dynamic with somebody, okay, with the Lovers here. That is a big possibility for some of you. It's being conscious of, yes, when I'm in a relationship, in love or whatever, but when I'm in a relationship, this is what I do. That's my pattern. Maybe you take a lot on your shoulders, and that was your way to be appreciated, to be loved, and so on. There's an understanding here about what it is about celebrating life with somebody, advancing with somebody, and not taking everything on my shoulders for somebody. Because that probably always ended up in sadness and disappointments here. Let's see. Three of Swords. There's something you're realizing here. Okay, Three of Swords. Yeah, that's going to be the end of it. With Death under, I'm not surprised. Page of Sword. That what you're understanding now, grasping, it's you're actually going to take it and start acting accordingly. And that is what is going to move the Wheel of Fortune and bring back, here we have that Ace of Wands and that Four of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Ace of Wands, Four of Wands, right there. They're here. Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune. It's like if, you know what? It's obvious. You're having one heck of a reality, and at this reality check, and at the same time, I'm releasing this. I understand it, and I am not carrying this anymore. I'm not projecting it anymore. Now, I actually want to celebrate life. Everything is clear. I understand it, and you're going to act in a completely different way. You're going to feel much lighter also. There's this feeling light energy, I think, that's going to be present with pretty much all the signs. This is like very present. This life can be so much easier. Relationships can be so much easier. Let's look at your Ace of Wands here with, okay, Chariot. And here we have the Ten of Pentacles with the Nine of Wands. And yes, it's moving on from the Ten of Pentacles and Nine of Wands together. This is like talking about how until now, what you've achieved and built and all of that, you've been hurt, and it got you wary of what next and all of that. So that's why it is so essential that you finish your cycle of wands, so that you can be light in your in this world, in the gaining of, yes, I can have an empire, long-term relationship, commitment, this kind of thing, without being on my guard, without being worried to be hurt again, and so on. The Chariot here, it's that spiritual movement forward where we understand everything that was hidden, that was in the moon. Okay, that's why he's got moons on his shoulders here of his armor. He understands that his aspiration is clear and he's moving forward. That is associated with Cancer, and we will have the full moon in Cancer around the 19th of December. So that might be a significant date for you, okay, for realizing this and actually choosing that moment to move forward. Or it's going to become obvious anyway, and around there. Let's look at your 10 of Wands. And of course we have the winter solstice, and so celebrating the beginning of the light coming back. So this is very significant. We reach the peak of going within and understanding, analyzing, and of course we're in that, you know, full moon Cancer that's going to be there, very interiorized. We've just went through Scorpio, and with Sagittarius, this is going to be the tempering has been done, and what divinely timed of my, let's say, emotional wisdom that I understand is going to be done at that point. Here, the 10 of Wands, I have the 4 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune again. Wheel of Fortune, there's a switch. And we have to understand that the Wheel of Fortune turns when we understand why it was like that. Because that's what the Sphinx at the top of the, I'll show it on this one here. The Sphinx on the top of the wheel, he asks always the same riddle. Do you know why your cycle was like that, constantly like that? And once you can understand and answer the riddle of the Sphinx, then they can move you to your next matrix, your next reality. Okay, and here I have the 6 of Swords. You're going to be able to turn the page on all of that. Ace of Sword, 10 of Sword, 6 of Sword. Of course, you're moving, and here the heart chakra, 6 of Cups, the Fool, having faith again, being able to jump into the next cycle, knowing that, because once we understand why, we know we will not repeat it, because we know exactly what we've done, what were the conditions, what were the beliefs that created that. And so we're not doing it anymore. Of course, you know, if you drank salted coffee for 10 years and all of a sudden you notice that it's because you're putting salt instead of sugar, you're not going to be afraid to drink salted coffee again. What if I have another salted coffee? No, now I know that I have to put sugar. There you go. That's why the circumstances change, because now we know. Here, with the Fool and the 6 of Cups, it's the capacity to reopen your heart chakra and have faith. Have faith in the other. Maybe you had lost the faith in the other because of the, you know, always the same kind of thing happening in your relationships. Here, let's look at Death. Yeah, I'm talking about faith, and here I have the card of Fate, and here I have the Hangman. Okay, so Okay. The Hangman, Tower, and the Four of Swords. So, of course, finally, if you've been on a long period of celibacy, let's say, that might be released because you're going to be like available energetically at the end of the month. Okay? And so, why? Because you're going to see that from a completely different angle. You will not see the other like another that I have to protect myself against and so on, and that I am projecting things on. You're going to see the other and recognize the mirror of you in there. And since we have the Eight of Wands, the thing is that when we act from our higher self and we communicate from our higher self, that's the part in the other one that will be reflected towards us. So there's a big change, because then there's no more emotional projections of our old wounds and this and reactions and so on the other one, and they will not be doing the same thing. With the Tower and death and all of that, that's like you're not just turning the page here, you're destroying the page. You're like, no way, no, you're not going back to that anymore. It's going to be slash after that, alignment, my true self, faith. I'm releasing and understanding that I would have never reached the happiness and fulfillment in relationships that I wanted, that a part of me knew could exist. I would have never reached it carrying what I was carrying. Hermit. All right. So Hermit and the Knight of Wands. Look at that fire. That's beautiful. Three of Pentacle. You're taking that Ace of Wands, Knight of Wands, and it's like, that's it. This guy is not influenced by the past. He doesn't think about consequences of the future. It's going to be more like here. It's going to be like, that's it. I'm taking this new passion, this new path. It could be a new connection for some of you. But going into it in the here and now feels right. I'm doing it. Let's look at that Ace of Wands here. It's not because the past relationships brought you to a Nine of Wands and closed you up, you know, like, I'm not trusting anymore, that this one will be the same thing. And it won't be the same thing because you understood why. And here I have the Queen of Swords, your perception of all of this. And here is our Sagittarius, Temperance. And here is the Ten of Wands. Since you're releasing your Ten of Wands, you're going to see and perceive things from the bigger picture, from a much higher point of view. When you look at Temperance, which represents Sagittarius, and we're in the month of Sagittarius, it has the sun symbol on its forehead. So imagine having the sun in your third eye. You're seeing the bigger picture completely here. And the Queen of Swords is the capacity of, it's our perception capacity. So there, I'm seeing the invisible, the visible, the consequences, the causes. I'm seeing all of it. Judgment, Six of Wands. You're going to decide to be happy, to be very, you know, if we're not ourselves, hiding anything from ourselves, if everything is on the surface, we embrace the whole of us and so on. The judgment is all a question about embracing the whole of us, seeing clearly on who we are, what we did, you know, all of this in our past, all the parts of us coming up to the surface so we can re-embrace it and be there. Here I am. That is me. I've got nothing to prove. I'm coming back from war. I'm acknowledging myself for who I am. And the sadness is going to be released. It's like a brand new enthusiasm, a new beginning, enthusiasm. You're going to feel like a kid, Capricorn. Here, Page of Wands. Empress. And here I have the Eight of Swords for the bottom of the deck here, because probably, of course, when it came to relationships and things like that, you were in your head, because you've been hurt, you've been carrying all of this and carrying things on your shoulders. But now with the understanding and all of that, and embarking on a brand new path in the Empress, so that means in unconditional love and abundance, knowing that it is inherent to you to begin with. The universe loves you and embraces you unconditionally, and you have to allow it for yourself. That's what Venus does here, the Empress. So inspiration, the shape of your reality, what you allow in, your intuition, your perceptions, your self-worth, self-value, and so on, is going to act on a completely different level here. And you're going to walk with the invisible afterwards. Much more. Taking it into account much more. So, yeah. I would tell you this is like a big, it's a new spark, a new beginning. So I'm going to call it a new beginning for you, Capricorn. And so on this, I'm going to wish you an amazing month of December. Happy winter solstice. May the light come back into our lives slowly and slowly. Also, oh yes, I wanted to say that on the 17th of December, I'm taking part of the International Conference on Spiritual Technology, which is the 17th, 18th, and 19th of December. I'll be speaking on the 17th. So I'll put all of the description in the description below. I'll put all the information with the website if you want to go see. There'll be a bunch of speakers during those 3 days on all the different aspects of spirituality, from, you know, the root doctors, Toltec traditions, Orisha, name it. It's a beautiful array of amazing people talking, and I'm very happy to be part of it. So all the information will be there. Will be the website to go and check it out if you want. So on this, my beautiful Capricorn, also I want to thank you. If you want a private reading, the description will be below also. And thank you for the ones of you who gave donations. Of course, it helps more than you think. And on the new moon, the 4th of December, I'm going to do a little ceremony to give you back. On that, love and light, and I'll see you next month.